Hey, what's up? It's Teach and Daz from Rich Streamcast here with another episode of our wonderful anime talks.
And we are back and better than ever, and today we're bringing you another one of our favorites coming from One Piece. It's gonna be our top 5 devil fruits. So sit back, relax until you get tired of us, because we're gonna kick right into this shit.
And I had a lot of fun with this one. This one was great. I went out of the realm of the crew because
Definitely. There are some interesting ones in the crew, but I don't think there's. I'd say they have like the strangest ones, like some of you like stupid ones that are actually dope, but just the natural ones that you know right off bat that you're not gonna necessarily have to do a whole lot of training with are some that we explored on this one.
Absolutely. So my number 5 right here at the bottom of my list, although it's still one of my favorites, is actually one that's main character, the Chop fruit.
Buggy's?
Yeah, Buggy's power. He underutilizes it so hard, and so you're not going to see a lot of that in the clips we're showing right now. He uses it as
Impelled
defense.
down.
He uses it defensively.
I feel like in this time skip he's had to advance it though to be recognized.
But if you want to see the crazy part, and I think we're going to see that after this time skip, exactly what you were saying, is play him in the video game Burning Blood. That is what we got going in the background right here. And
what type is he in that?
He is Nutsbar. He's technical.
Yeah, of course he has to be.
And his moveset is so crazy. You can get really crazy powerful with him and win some online matches. But Buggy is, of course, has his own flaws and holes in his power, and to our knowledge doesn't have any hockey yet, so we'll see. But the power itself, I think, could be utilized in so many other ways. Besides, when you're a pirate, being immune to swords has got to be just like top tier.
Like, as a clown, I think his devil fruit is definitely perfectly fitting for him, because I mean the whole magic tricks bullshit that he can pull with that, and that whole thing that goes with being a clown. I mean, he's kind of the best of both.
Definitely.
I'd say definitely an underrated devil fruit, to say the least, though. To start my top 5, I got at the 5 spot the Daya no Mi, which is the diamond devil fruit, currently possessed by Jozu. To our knowledge, I kind of have a theory, and there's one that's flown around that he may have died in the War of the Best and got his devil fruit stolen by Shiryu, because that's who they want like Zoro to face and finally cut Diamond like into series. But I love this devil fruit because up to this point we've only seen Jozu used one named attack, and he's been able to clash with multiple admirals just with the devil fruit off strength. I mean, his own hockey and will and like raw strength contributes to that, but it's one of the main devil fruits that I feel like can deal with Logias and doesn't have that usual drawback, because it's such a hard substance that you don't really have to worry about some of the risks you take when you're fighting a Logia with any other type of fruit.
Until he got that shit cracked.
Yep. But that's when he got his shit frozen, and who was he facing? An admiral.
Yep. Absolutely. A top tier battle for somebody who's like low on the commander list.
And he got distracted. I think he's the 3rd division commander, so he's in that top few. But he's not 1 or 2, but he's been with the Whitebeard Pirates for 20 plus, I'm pretty sure, because when they did that flashback to the Whitebeard Pirates at the
But it's a Nutsbar power.
Definitely. It's an amazing one. Thanks for reeling me back in there, because I got a little bit off track. But it's an amazing devil fruit. I'm waiting to see some more named attacks by it, because I feel like, especially when you get into the realm of awakening, being able to have the hardest substance known to man is gonna be pretty tough to beat. So I'm looking for more for it. And before we ramble on anymore, let's hop into number 4.
Yeah, absolutely. So my number 4 is another major character in the series. Not a, well, no, he definitely is a major character, but it's a villain. It's the Shadow fruits, the Kage no Mi from Gecko Moria.
Yeah.
My goodness, what an
very versatile.
Yeah, so many different uses, so many different combat and non-combat applications. It is just one that, and he used it in a very creepy, very malignant way, and
stealing.
Yeah, but you can use it in so many others. He could have been such a powerful, if he had a different morality.
Though, because I feel like that's why he was at one point a rival to Kaido. I mean, Kaido at no point is gonna be losing to anybody that's not worth shit. And the fact that there was ever a point where it was seeming to be some rivalry with them, I feel like
speaks to the power of the fruit and to Gecko Moria extensively.
Definitely.
Like, it'd be so cool to see it going. And he's a playable character in the game too. Definitely. And he is, he's tough to use. He's another tech character.
He has to be, because I feel like his fighting style in general is very tricksy, so he's like an underhanded kind of guy.
Right, well, and creating clone animals, creating clone selves, being able to switch with those, being able to bend your body and conform it to your shadows, being able to steal another person's shadow and absorb their strength temporarily. All of these things
it's pretty OP.
Yeah, extremely.
But I feel like if he comes to Wano, I feel like that will definitely be very, very like needed. Especially with that last fight with Kaido.
That's going to be interesting. Your 4.
Yeah, my number 4 is another Paramecia, but it's one of the most versatile, if not the versatile up to this point. The Opinomi, wielded by Law.
Yeah.
And if he gets his stamina up, I feel like this fruit is going to make him borderline invincible, if not actually invincible, based on what we know it can do with the immortality.
He can't give it to himself though.
You're right, but it's still a dope fruit, and the fact that is a possibility just by mastering the devil fruit to a certain extent speaks for itself. I mean, we've seen him be able to teleport, do gamma knives that destroy organs internally. I mean, this guy can take hearts. That's how he became a Shichibukai, from taking over 100 pirates' hearts and serving them on a silver platter to the world government. So I feel like the possibilities to this fruit are pretty endless, and especially when you get into the realm of Devil Fruit Awakening, we're gonna see something even beyond insane from Law.
I think we got a tease of that. I think we got a tease of that on Punk Hazard, because typically it's limited to his room, right?
That's true.
This is the area of effect, but on Punk Hazard, there's no way his room was that big to cut the mountain in half.
Yeah, that's
so
that extended beyond it.
So when if the awakening for that power is to be able to cast without establishing an area of effect first, would be unparalleled.
And he can tie the room to his life force, because remember that last room he did when he helped out Luffy in that 10-minute time period after he used Gear 4th. Law used his life force because he was all out of stamina, and that's how he used that last room and protected Luffy pretty much for those last couple minutes. But moving on to your number 3.
I'm going real old school, real vague with this one. Not vague, but obscure. The Bomb fruit from Mr. 5 of Baroque Works.
I do not even remember that one.
Jerk, he's the one that Mr. 3 roasted for not using his power correctly because he shot exploding boogers.
Yeah.
But he ate. Yeah, that's ridiculous. Get some hand-to-hand combat in there. He can detonate any part of his body with no damage and is immune to explosion damage. This is an absurd power to have with any sort of hand-to-hand combat abilities.
Definitely.
And it should be something sought out after. So
I hope he dies so
power,
somebody can use it later on. Somebody way more deserving of it. I'd rather see like somebody like Usopp have that and be like a sniper with that fruit. That would be insane.
Yeah, that would be absolutely nuts. But that's 3. I mean, and I think mostly it speaks for itself.
Definitely. I mean, I feel like he didn't get the way we've seen it used. It wasn't a whole lot of time, but. Moving on to my number 3, it is what we recently figured out was the Hoya Hoya Paramecia type Daifuku's fruit from the Big Mom Pirates, and I love the concept of a genie, and it's something that none of us predicted, and like the interpretation of it that we just got was that he himself is really the lamp and he produces the genie. I think Hoya Hoya translates to Puff Puff.
That's the official English name.
Yeah,
anyway.
But the English always does terrible translations. But it's a versatile fruit, and the genie actually possesses haki and a weapon that can, as we see, clash with somebody as powerful as Sanji, and that wasn't even the limits. And the fact that this guy is Katakuri and Oven's triplet, no problem. The fact that it's Katakuri and Oven's triplet kind of gives a little bit more oomph to the, or emphasis to the dopeness of the devil fruit, because Whole Cake Island has really showed us a strange variety of different types of devil fruits, maybe like different from a Yonko that we saw like Whitebeard, who had a few Devil Fruit users, but I don't think that strange variety was quite like what we got in Whole Cake, and that was personified mostly in my personal favorite through Daifuku's Genie Fruit. Let's move on to number 2 and what you got over at yours.
I love this one. I love this one so much because he's gonna come back, and it's gonna be problematic, and we're probably gonna see him in Wano. The Rust fruit used by Shu.
He destroyed Zoro's sword at Enies Lobby. I remember that.
That won't work anymore because of Haki, theoretically. But
he uses Haki with that fruit himself.
Exactly. So if there are balances to this, the ability is to instantly rust anything that they touch. Right? They are a rust person, and so the awakening of that is just this field of everything rusting, or organic rust.
Do you think that's like an aging effect that it's doing, or do you think it's actually just rust? I think it's
actual oxidation. And so what will happen is that you'll see things oxidizing. And if this was a grittier anime like Attack on Titan, that process would be foul and painful.
Yeah,
and
gory.
In One Piece it's going to be like rust covering people, and I'm 100% fine with that. It's all I need to know.
Yeah,
and
we'll know the extent.
Well,
we'll see it.
What sorts? Like, he'd be able to cut a path through Wano.
Definitely. I mean, what would anybody?
It's a crazy powerful ability, and it'd be so much fun to see in some combat because it's a swordsman too, and you can transfer it through his sword.
That is interesting. I didn't even remember that. I'll probably need to go back and see that.
He's one of the captains that came to the Buster Call in Enies Lobby, for those that may not know where he's
a swordsman that can rust any sword. What if the swordsmanship on top of that fruit with Haki, that might in game make him top tier, but
that's why he's number 2.
That's definitely true. It's an interesting fruit to say the least, but that's one of the, I'd say, fruits that are so underrated because you don't even think about it being one of the top ones in the One Piece verse, but it's so versatile and can be so devastating.
Yep, that's what I was going for.
Yep, and over at my number 2, I got a classic one with the Mera no Mi, formerly possessed by Ace and currently being possessed by Sabo. And I love this fruit because I love all types of pyro characters in anime, and right off the jump when we got to Alabasta, when Luffy needed saving, here comes Big Brother Ace, who had the Mera no Mi, and we first saw him using Hiken, we saw him using Hibashira, and he has not just brute force like blazing attacks, but he knows how to use them in a very unique way, so he got a nice like mastery of the fruit that wasn't just OP trying to overwhelm you like somebody like Akainu does with his fruit. And it can be used as an energy source, and I feel like that's very unique because there aren't very many besides maybe somebody like Kizaru, or we saw with God and Nell, who can literally power machinery using their fruit ability. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Sabo can do with that, and it's definitely one of my top 2 clearly. So what do you got over at your number 1?
My number 1 is just my favorite, and I know there's a lot more that are probably more powerful. Admiral Kizaru for one, but like the smoke fruit for Smoker. This guy, he's the baddest of badasses. It's the first time I've really seen a fruit and been like, nope, that's the optimal way to incorporate that into your fighting style.
Definitely.
Using a Kairoseki tipped jute, like every part of him says, I'm here to just suppress criminality.
That sea stone.
But
that
it had,
sea stone.
Yeah, sea stone, Kairoseki. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I didn't know what the hell you were saying.
My bad.
Oh, dude.
You're sitting here throwing around all the Japanese for the fruits, and you don't know Kairoseki?
Yeah, I didn't research that one, so I only know the ones that I researched.
Well, the whole thing with that one is just like mobility, offense, defense. It's got it all.
Yeah, it's a very balanced fruit, and I would say I didn't expect him to be able to grasp with that fruit, but the fact that he mastered it to that level attests to the fact why I feel like he will be one of the next admirals in this new generation.
Oh, by the way, using the fruit, he was able to restart from captain in the Navy and climb all the way to captain again.
Oh yeah, he did start over.
Yeah,
So he's become
he started over.
So he would have been a vice admiral years ago.
Something a little bit higher now, but like yeah, he'd be a vice admiral by now.
Yeah, I mean he is a vice admiral right now, but I feel like the fact because he was a commodore.
Yeah.
And then after time skip, he was vice admiral.
Yes.
But definitely a devil fruit that's underrated, but it is versatile and amazing, and it's almost as good as this number one that I got over here.
Almost.
But I got the mythical Zoan, the Phoenix devil fruit wielded by the legendary Marco the Phoenix.
Yep.
And I'm gonna fanboy a little bit because this is my favorite character and favorite devil fruit, and it's the first mythical Zoan that we got a serious taste of because we had only really gotten the leopard fruit and the zebra, not the zebra, but the giraffe fruit wielded by Kaku. So we didn't really see a lot of diverse and a variety.
Human.
We saw very like typical ones, but like a phoenix fruit, that's like a mythical creature that of course has the legend says that once a phoenix dies that it resurrects and comes from the ashes, and in like Japanese folklore specifically, the phoenix is supposed to like usher in the new era and is supposed to like come from the heavens and do good deeds. So I feel like that definitely ties in very well with what Marco's role is going to be coming up in the new world, and I think that's kind of a hint to where he's at currently, since he comes from the heavens to do good deeds on like the blue sea. But I love this fruit because it was able to withstand several clashes with different admirals. I really love this devil fruit because it's one of the only devil fruits that we've seen that allows the devil fruit user to fly, and of course with it being a Zoan, the base like physical strength, speed, and endurance are gonna be like enhanced exponentially. And with it being a possibly awakened Zoan, I feel like what we saw from Jack and is probably nothing compared to what like Marco can outlast, and especially in like a 1v1 or something like that. I'd say the only person with durability like that exceeds that is definitely an Admiral or a Yonko, just because if you can regenerate and you can pretty much go forever, there's nothing that can really stop you unless they just have overwhelming strength themselves. And yeah, that pretty much ties in everything I love about the fruit and Marco, so it was kind of my favorite One Piece character and my favorite devil fruit at the same time. But that about wraps it up for my list.
Yeah, that's we got our top 5 in there. Some fun ones, some powerful ones, and some we'd like to see again and use just a little bit better.
The capabilities of what some of these in the future, based on what we know about Awakening, just makes it seem like it's going to be insane. And it will be insane. But
definitely. You can always check out more Rich Streamcast. We've got our Stardust team hard at work doing reviews on all kinds of different pop culture things, and that is the RGC Real Critics on Stardust. You can check us out there, and you can follow us on, well, I'm going to finally get a Twitter account, which is a big deal. So it'll be at TeachRGC.
Yep, and we're also pretty active on the Discord app. So if you shout out to like Rogers Base and Brago and King of Lightning and Frankie, because they put me on to the Discord app, and that's when you get to talk about a lot of dope One Piece content, and it cuts out a lot of the bullshit that you don't want to deal with Twitter. So Twitter's definitely lit, but I feel like if that's not what you're rocking with, Discord is perfect for that.
Alright, we'll see you on both of them, and see you again soon.
Yep, and the lotus always blooms twice.